Good afternoon, everybody. As you're coming on, I just want to give you a few minutes to join. I'm not in my normal office today. I'm up in Scotland. And it's been a lovely few days. So as we're coming up to just a couple of minutes after 12, I want to start sharing some information about our Forever Immublend. What I'm going to do is, if you have any questions, then please, what I'll do is I'll answer some questions at the end in the question and answer section. So as I'm going through, hi everybody, as I'm going through the information, if you think of anything that you really like to know, then please just pop it in the questions answers and I'll come back to that at the end. So let's get going. Let's make a start on some information about our Forever Immublend. And I'm sure a lot of you have already been using this amazing supplement. And it's one of my favorite products of all time. But I thought what I might do is, I suppose, look at the product in a slightly different way. I hope you can see me all right. As I said, it's not my normal office, and the lighting in here is not what I'm used to, so bear with me, but you don't want to see me, you want to see what's on the slides anyway. So let's just move on. And the first thing I'd like to do before we get into the actual presentation is I just want to give you a heads up that I'm sure you're aware that, oh my gosh, we've been doing so well with so many of our products over the last few years, and we have some more awards coming up. And please, could you put your votes in? As you can see from the slide, this is the Pure Beauty Awards, and we'd love you to vote. Vote now and before Saturday, the 25th of September. Now, you can see a couple of them on here, but we also have shortlisted as well, alongside the liquid soap and the hydrating serum. We've also got the amazing new shampoo and the aloe and jojoba shampoo with all of those gorgeous ingredients, including argan oil. And so please go to that link and start to cast your votes. Right. We were going to start getting into the Forever Immublend, and one of the things that we do as a company, because we have the ability to be able to look at always moving forward, because we actually manufacture our own products. We have our supplements that are manufactured at Forever Nutraceutical over in Scottsdale in Arizona. And we have the ability to start to look at how we can combine really important parts of science and nature together. And that's something that we at Forever are really proud to be able to do. Look at the synergistic effect in those two particular areas. So Forever Immublend is a supplement that has been out for quite a few years now. But what I'd really like to do is start to understand a little bit about our natural defense system. In this particular slide, you can see weighing scales, or also known as balance. And our body is constantly striving to be in balance. You've probably heard me use the word before, it's homeostasis. And our body wants to, every second of every day, our body wants to keep everything just in that balance. And of course, what we are going to be focusing on this morning, or this afternoon, I should say, is our immune system wanting to be in balance. But there's two parts of our immune system that are in place, and we often have to break it down to understand the difference between the balance of our innate immune system and our adaptive immune system. To keep it really, really simple, our innate immune system is something that is already in place. And it's in place because it's part of our first line of defense. And one of our first lines of defense is our skin, for example. Already in place will be in our cells. And these are chemicals that we have in our cells. And it's there to give a rapid response to any invasion from pathogens, bacteria, viruses, etc. So we have these chemicals that are there, natural chemicals that we will find in our body, from on our skin, also in our mucus, in our saliva, in our tears, and they're there to just keep everything in balance. Now, that's our first line of a defense, or our first army. And then we have this really important one, which is called adaptive. Let me just move my little cursor out of the way. The adaptive. And the adaptive is something that is learnt by what our body has been in contact with. And this is where we have, I suppose you could see this is our second line of defense. It's a little bit like the special forces, that our army is then calling in those special forces and saying, oh, we need some help here. And this is where really we get our B cells and our T cells come into action. Now, it's adaptive because, as the word implies, it will adapt to the situation. But what also is really important is that with your adaptive immune system, it is something that has to be learned by what you have been in contact with. And what is important about this is that often we think that by keeping away from people, keeping away from environments is actually strengthening our immune system. But what is really good is to get out and about and to actually mix in different places, go and visit different places, because by doing that, our immune system will be in contact with new things. And by doing that, your body can start to build up its defense system. So one of the things that I have said to people over the last few years is that when we're building up our immune system, that even doing exercise or going out for a walk is brilliant. But if you actually go on different walks, then your body is in contact with different bacteria, viruses, pathogens in that environment area. So that is important to understand, how by not doing the same thing or going to the same places or keeping yourself wrapped up in cotton wool is not necessarily the right thing to build up your immune system. So that comes from your adaptive. And I think it's really important to think about that, especially as we're going into the winter, because in the winter we start to literally do that. We start to hide away, you might say, because of the weather. So what I thought I would do then, understanding that the Forever Immublend has a whole range of ingredients that maybe you haven't really looked at the label. So I thought it'd be really good then to look at the label and literally see what is on the back of the label and to understand it in a little bit more detail, because I'm sure there are lots of you that would like to know or understand what it all means, but also with maybe your customers or team and want to know a little bit more, because often we do start looking at our products and being a little bit comparing with others that are out there, and people will ask you those questions. So what I want to do first of all then is, on the label you see where it says nutritional values, and I've circled the bit where you've got vitamin D, vitamin C and zinc. And if you can see there that there's a line between the thick line, and it has the RI. In fact, my little yellow circle's just gone through the RI section there, which is the recommended intake. Now, when you look at that, those are the ingredients that we have in our product that we can make a compliant claim with, because there are research has been shown in isolation that these particular ingredients are the ingredients that have been shown to contribute to certain parts of the body and support the body. And that's why underneath that, from the fructooligosaccharides down, we don't have any recommended intakes there. But let's just focus on that first bit, the vitamin D, C, and zinc. You can also see there that it says daily dose per container is 30, and just underneath that it also says the recommended daily dosage, or the amount. So that is important to understand, that this is a guideline to how much you would be taking. Now, one question that I often get asked is giving our supplements to children. And one thing to remember, that our products are specifically designed, or most of our products are specifically designed for adults. So all of this would be around adults. Our products are for adults, and it's not up to us to suggest that our products can be given to children or youngsters under the age of 18, you might say, but it's up to the parents to make a decision if they want to give adult supplements to their children. Okay, and I can't say any more than that, guys, because I know this is a question that I get asked all the time. Right, so what I thought I'd do then is break it down into understanding why we've put vitamin D, C, and zinc into this particular product. When we look at vitamin D then, vitamin D is known to help to support the normal function of the immune system. And of course, this is important. You can say that, you can use that phrase when you're talking to people about vitamin D. In the line that was above, one of the things that is important, you can't go into that section and say about vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc unless there's enough present. And to do that, you have to have 15% of the recommended intake present in the product, of the recommended intakes of present in that particular product. Actually, let me just skip back, so you can see there that in the vitamin D there's 200%, vitamin C there's 113% of the recommended intake, and zinc there's 150%. So if you want to actually make a claim, it has to be 15% of the recommended intake and over. To say there's a rich source of, or it's high in, then in that area there, it would be 30% or over. So that's just to give you a little bit of a guidelines to know exactly how much we have in there. Getting back to the vitamin D then, that vitamin D, as you can see, there are generally, it's broken down into two. We've got vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. Now, vitamin D3 is the actual form that our body likes. I'm going to come to that in a moment, because sometimes people ask me the question, the difference between D2 and D3. Now, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, and it works as a fat-soluble vitamin alongside vitamin A, vitamin E, and vitamin K. So we have 4 fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. Easy way to remember them. Remember the word ADEC, all right? Now, they're fat-soluble. It means that they will travel around in fat. They like to be around fat sources. And it's a really good idea then to think about, when you're taking your fat-soluble vitamins, to take them with some form of dietary fats, some healthy fats, obviously. But they also will be stored in the body, and you can see they're stored in the liver and also in your adipose, or your fatty tissue. And these are vitamin D is something that will be stored whereas your vitamin Bs and vitamin C will not be stored. All right, so this is important to understand about vitamin D. We have already said that vitamin D helps to support the normal function of the immune system, but by taking the Immublend, with having the vitamin D in here, it is also going to contribute to the absorption of calcium as well as phosphate. Importantly, the maintenance of bones and teeth, muscle function, and also, as we said, maintaining a healthy immune system. And this is really the synergistic effect of the ingredients that we have in this product. Now, what is important to understand is that it has been shown, according to this is a stat from the NHS, that around 20% of adults may have a low vitamin D status. And just to actually go over that is that some of those people may fall into these particular groups. So some of the groups can be vegans, also people who have limited exposure to sunlight. I'm going to explain that in the next statement. And that could be people that may be because of health reasons, they stay inside. It could be they're housebound, the elderly not getting out and about, maybe people who are in residential care. Also down to the fact that people's choice of what they want to wear with their clothes and covering up, especially on their face. Also, the darker the skin that you have, the harder it is for you to manufacture vitamin D on your skin, because it's the main way to manufacture vitamin D. Because the darker your skin, you have more pigmentation. And of course, the pigmentation in theory is there to protect you if you're in the sun too much from absorbing into sunlight being absorbed. So it's a protection factor. And when you hit 50 and over, it's thought that probably you may start to lose some of the natural ability to absorb vitamin D. And also on top of that, that depends on where you live. And as we hit the winter, then we know that because the main source of vitamin D comes from the synthesis on the skin following UV light exposure, that as we go into the winter, then it is definitely recommended that if you are going through that particular part of the year, it is important to take 10 mcg, which is micrograms a day, in the winter months. So it is recommended by the NHS that all adults and children should be taking a vitamin D supplement, okay, within the winter. So that's the children and adults, or children over 4, as you can see on there. So that's just make sure that you are getting enough vitamin D. How it works is that the main source for humans is the synthesis on the skin, as I said. And when we talk about vitamin D3, our body loves vitamin D3 because that is the format that our body can use in the best way. So of course, I know sometimes people think, now I'm vegetarian, but people sometimes think, oh my gosh, what do I do about getting my vitamin D if I'm not going to get it from my diet? Well, it is definitely important then for you to get out in the sun as much as you can, even during the winter. Get out there and just get the sun onto your face, onto your body as much as you can. But please remember though, that when you are getting the synthesis happens, that the reason that because it's manufactured on animal skin, then that what we do is we take our ingredient D3 that is being manufactured on animal skin. That is the best form that we have. So what happens is the ultraviolet light, it will hit the skin, and then we have oils on our skin, and this is the right environment for the vitamin D to be manufactured, you might say. All right. So then what happens is that it will go into the body, and then our body will start to take it to the next stage. It goes, oh, I like this vitamin D, and then it gets into a stage where it can be used within the body. If you want to have vitamin D in a dietary form, then it's coming from, once again, it's coming from oily fish, cod liver oil, and also red meat. If you are vegetarian, then you may look at getting it from some fortified cereals and some fortified margarines and spreads, and also egg yolks as well. So remember what we're saying, that the body likes to have vitamin D3, and it's synthesized in the body, and it goes through the whole process of going to the liver, and then it goes on to the kidneys. So when we're looking at our vitamin D synthesis, it makes sense then that we want to have healthy skin, a healthy liver, and also healthy kidneys. The next ingredient is zinc. Once again, zinc also contributes to the normal function of the immune system. And zinc is a natural mineral, and it has a whole array of roles within the body. Zinc has, first of all, in the process of cell division, it also helps to maintain normal skin, hair, nails, also fertility and testosterone levels in the blood. Zinc also supports normal vision, cognitive function. So cognitive function is your memory, your reasoning, your learning, as well as your bones and metabolism of macronutrients. Your macronutrients are your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. So you need zinc to help you to break down and be able to use your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And the recommended amount, this is coming from the NHS again, is for men 9.5 milligrams, age 19 to 64, and 7 milligrams for women. Now, this is coming from the NHS, as I said. Zinc, you can get great rich sources of zinc, come from things like pine nuts, cashews, almond seeds, chickpeas, as well as meat. Zinc as a mineral, we also have zinc oxide, is the mineral that we put in our aloe sunscreen. And it's quite interesting that we're talking about vitamin D and wanting to absorb into our body, but also zinc oxide on the skin when we need to protect our body. It's there as a natural sunscreen as well. So obviously with the zinc, this is a supplement. I'm not talking about putting on your skin, but I'm just kind of getting you to see how zinc has many roles. But we're actually focusing on the fact that we're putting the zinc alongside the vitamin D. When it comes to vitamin C on there, I mean, vitamin C, obviously, vitamin C has many roles within the body, and vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin. And one of the things, I've just popped this back on here, you can see that vitamins, we have 113%. Now, we have vitamin C in our aloe as well. Aloe is a rich source of vitamin C. We have vitamin C in a lot of our products, but one of the reasons that we put vitamin C in here, because the vitamin C, D, and zinc collectively work really powerfully together. Now, what we're going to do at this point is move to the next part on the label, and this is what we call our proprietary blend. Okay, now a proprietary blend, you often see that, and it's on the slide there, it says Forever Immublend contains a proprietary blend of fructooligosaccharides, or FOS for short. It has lactoferrin, and then it has the mushrooms in there. So this proprietary blend is really where Forever has its own recipe, so it's unique to Forever, and that's how you can describe the product. So one of my things that I always say to people when they say, you know, what vitamin D supplement do you take? And I say, I take Forever Immublend. And the reason that I take Forever Immublend is not only does it contain the recommended 10 micrograms of vitamin D, it's combined with vitamin C and zinc, but it also has this proprietary blend of botanicals. And this is where we take nature and science. And this isn't just any supplement that contains vitamin D. This is Forever's supplement that contains vitamin D. And I absolutely love lactoferrin. And when I say that, people then go, wow, what's lactoferrin? Because a lot of people will talk about vitamin D to support their immune system. But what we want to do is we always look at not just one ingredient in isolation, but we want to look at the whole picture, because that is going to enhance the performance, basically. So what I'm going to do then is go through what these are: fructooligosaccharides, lactoferrin, etc. So the first one at the top is the mushrooms, and with the mushrooms we have maitake and shiitake mushrooms. And I don't know if you've ever eaten maitake and shiitake mushrooms. You can obviously buy them in supermarkets and your local stores if they do some nice tasty different kinds of mushrooms. But mushrooms, actually, because mushrooms are obviously plants, and vitamin D2 is probably in mushrooms has the highest form of vitamin D2, but it's the best source, but it's still not as high and giving you the vitamin D3 that you would do if it's manufactured on your skin. So that's really important to understand. But I want to talk about these beta glucans, and beta glucans are naturally occurring polysaccharides, and they're found in the cell walls of the mushrooms. And mushrooms are actually known as workhorses. What we mean by that is that as a workhorse, they have the ability to kind of go, obviously they're in the soil, and they go, and the stalk goes right down into the soil and can pick up all the nutrients that are in the soil deep down. And then if you think about the shape of a mushroom, they have the cap on them or the head on them, or they work together in clusters. So depending on the actual mushroom, and that means they can store all these minerals, all these nutrients, and all these wonderful beta glucans as well. And they are the kind of food that animals will go for, because they know they're going to be packed full of all these goodies. So they have a really good surface area, the way that they are made, for nutritional absorption. What is also important is, because they are under attack because of the nutrients from plants as well as animals, is that they have to build up their own natural defense system. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to survive. And this is part of their own natural defense system, are these polysaccharides, beta glucans. So that's quite an interesting thing to know. That's one of the reasons that we pop them in this product. And then we have this ingredient, lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is a protein, and it's found naturally in milk that you get from humans and cows. But it's also found in our saliva, tears, mucus, and also bile. And this is important to know, because you will find lactoferrin in those areas where we also have our immune system. And then finally, we have our fructooligosaccharides. That's quite a mouthful, but you can just call it FOS, as it says on the label for short. Now, one of the things that we always talk about is looking after our gut, also referred to as our gastrointestinal tract or our digestive system. Now, where does that start? Where does our gastrointestinal system or our gut start? Well, actually, it starts as soon as we put things in our mouth. Our digestive system is right up here, okay? And of course, we know that from our mouth and our digestive system, what is linked is our sinuses. And our sinus area is also our respiratory system. We know that because that's from the back. You know, when we often say, oh my gosh, I think it's gone down the wrong way. Going down the wrong way is where we're heading into, maybe you might say our respiratory system area, but they're all very, very close. But with our fructooligosaccharides, why am I explaining this? Well, we need to look after our healthy bacteria, and our healthy bacteria resides in our guts all the way through. We have bacteria all the way through, and 70% of our immune system resides in our gut. So if it makes sense, then you want to make sure you're keeping your environment healthy where your immune system resides. We have 70% of it resides in our gut, and then the other percentage, some areas of our immune system are found within our respiratory system and also our liver. And if you remember, I've already mentioned the importance of looking after our liver. And so fructooligosaccharides is this insoluble fiber that the healthy bacteria that resides in our gut lives off. So that's why we've also put some of this food for healthy bacteria in our supplement. So what I wanted to do really is kind of round up to understand that, as I said, when people are taking this supplement, they're not just looking at the vitamin D. It's about looking at the overall picture and why Forever has chosen to take this special proprietary blend of the mushrooms, the lactoferrin, and some of the fiber to support the body. And just like the vitamins in there and the mineral zinc also support the body's natural defense system, as well as other things as well. So as we say, this isn't just any supplement that contains vitamin D. This is Forever's supplement that contains vitamin D. Immublend also has this amazing proprietary blend of Forever's products, botanicals, as well as the vitamin C, D, and zinc. Now, I always say that the perfect combination is always to start with drinking aloe, and also make sure that you're drinking enough aloe. If you want your body to be the best it can be, it all starts with your digestive health. And if you're drinking aloe vera contains this whole cocktail of nutrients, and some of the nutrients in there absolutely are needed to support your digestive system. So when you glug your aloe in the morning, then your body's going to thank you for it. And of course, the most important thing we want to do is make sure if our digestive system is in balance, then absorption's in balance, then the nutrients from your food, the nutrients you're taking from your supplements like Immublend, the absorption is going to be better, and then all of these wonderful nutrients are going to get around your body to where your body needs those nutrients to be. Right, I'm going to answer some questions in a moment, but just before I do, there is a September retail incentive taking place right now, and I will just read this out. So the Forever business owner who sells the most Immublend during the month of September, so we've got 2 weeks left in each region and within Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, will win one of our exclusive solar panelled rucksacks, and also a great product bundle, which will include obviously our Immublend, our Forever Kids, our Forever Active Pro B, and also Vitalize for men and women. But it doesn't stop there. The FBO who sells the most in the UK or the most across Ireland will win an Amazon Kindle. So if you go to foreverknowledge.info, which is our platform for information, then you will get more of an insight to what that's all about. Right, that is my presentation finished, but I am going to head into the questions and answers. So bear with me when I get this open. If it wants to open, here we go. Now, remember, I can only answer questions if they are not medically related. Slides are small. Oh, okay. Well, the slides are actually big on mine. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. But they're covering the whole of my screen, so I couldn't get them any bigger. I don't know. Next one then. Would Immublend make a good substitute for a beta care? I have a few customers for that, and I'm looking for advice on replacing it as close as I can, please. Yeah, well, the one that I would actually recommend, Fiona, is I know it sounds a little bit silly, is the actual eye vision. Because if you look at the ingredients in there, it's really a combination of the old Forever Vision and the A-beta care. So you're getting 2 in 1. So that will be the easiest one. Right, what else have I got? Is it possible to consume too much vitamin D in a supplement form? Well, yes, it is possible to consume too much because vitamin D is a fat soluble and it will store in the body. So always follow the guidelines that you can get from the NHS. You could go to the NHS if you wanted to look at that. But basically, we always remember that as far as Forever goes, we balance our supplements to make sure that they are in the correct amount. So that's absolutely fine. Why do we have such a high percentage of vitamin D, vitamin C and zinc? Well, it's not a particularly high percentage because remember, we need to be having at least the 100% of the recommended intake. When it comes to the vitamin D, it says 200% of the recommended intake, but actually we have to kind of park that slightly and think of what is now recommended as taking it is 10 micrograms. So you're getting the 10 micrograms, which is the recommended amount that we have been given. So let me just move to, and vitamin C is water soluble anyway. So after about 4 to 6 hours, it will leave your body. Zinc, as I say, it's not that much over. We can always have, remember the amounts when it says 150%, that when we're talking about 100% of the recommended intake, it's the amount that your body needs just to survive and get going, you might say. So sometimes taking more is better, especially if our body's out of balance. Right, I'm not answering that one. I take 4 a day of, okay, so sometimes your guidelines from people in the medical or your personal GP will advise you to take more, and that's exactly what you need to do, is follow the guidelines in your individual cases. Oh, thanks. The slides look fine. I'm glad they do, because they want, gosh, I do. No, someone else is saying the slides are quite small. Don't know why that is. Seriously, I have no idea. Language daily. What is the difference with your? What's difference if you take Forever Immublend for a couple of months? Everybody's body is different. So what you have to do is take the product and see how it works for you. Let me see in the chat. There's lots of questions. Let me go back and see what we've got here. Hello. hello, hello. These are lots of hellos. Are vitamin D, as vitamin D are fat soluble, is it okay to take daily Immublend and Vitalize? Yes, you certainly can. And what else have we got? Trinity discovered how to make. Oh, I'm good. How you mean to make the slide larger? Right, okay. Everyone's talking about the slides. Okay, sorry about the slide. Listen, you know, I'm actually doing this off my MacBook. As I said, I'm not at home. I'm actually in Scotland at the moment, so I couldn't actually check anything more. Is Immublend? I can't answer that one. Yeah, someone's asked about fructooligosaccharides. Oh my gosh, it is a word, but just use FOS. That's what I use. Unsure how to read supplement labels. Any tips? Well, I hope that I was trying to do that today to show you that the top bit is when we're talking about like the vitamin D and the zinc, that bit there is the nutritional facts. Those are the bits that are important, what you can say about the product, make some compliant claims around that, and that's what the company does. The botanicals and the proprietary blend, a lot of those we can't say anything about apart from what they are and give you fact. Can you take other supplements if you take Immublend? Yes, you definitely can. I can't, I'm not going to give a, sorry, I can't tell you how to cook mushrooms. I don't eat them myself, to be fair. What is a good time to take Immublend? And before meals or afterwards, with drinking gel or without? Well, you know, I always say one of the best things to do is to make sure that you are taking the supplements and find a time that works for you. And what I do is I take all my supplements that I need as my base in the morning. And I've said this over and over again. I take my aloe and my super greens and all the other things that I take. I like to take everything in the morning, and then if I need to, with various ones, I top up. So yes, you take your Immublend in the morning if that's works for you. You said before meals or afterwards. Well, you know what's interesting about supplements, they do like to generally be in your system if you have got food. So often it's suggested to take them in the morning, and then they're in your system for the rest of the day if you need. They're in your system as your day goes on, depending what you're doing. Right. I think that might be it in there. What else have I got? Have I got any more? Have I got any questions coming through before I go? Let me just double check. Hang on, what we got here. A person has dairy sensitivity, can they take it? Well, lactoferrin is a protein that is found in milk. So once again, if people, anything, when you're looking at the actual container, that, and all of our supplements is the same, anything that is written in bold is the things that sometimes people may have sensitivities over. So once again, it doesn't necessarily they will, but they have to try it for themselves. Now, let me just close that down. And I don't know if I have got any other questions or anything else that I could answer. I don't think so. Have I got some more chats just come in? Let me just say, oh, hang on, let me just see here. Yeah, what we do here, the content in the slides is this is for marketing. You can, all the information to do with what we share as a company, we make sure that it's compliant. Yeah, some people like to take propolis for natural defense. Propolis is a completely different scenario, Mary, because propolis is a substance that is really comes from the beehive, obviously. Well, from the beehive, it's actually used. Propolis is a sticky resin that the bees will collect from trees and plants, and they metabolize it, take it back to their hive, and they cocoon things in there that are invasions. They stick the honeycomb together, they create like a bit of a sticky mat in the doorway, so when bees are coming in, it's a way of them wiping their feet and not bringing anything in. So it is a completely different natural botanical that you can also take alongside the Immublend if you want to. Can you take Daily and Immublend together? Yes, you can take that together. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, guys, I think I have answered everything, and I do apologize if the slides seem to be a little bit small. Like I said, they look fine on mine, and I can't do any more than that. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you all really, really soon. I hope you found that interesting, and please don't forget to vote for the Beauty Awards and also the September retail incentive. I'll just leave it up on here so you can just take it in and start talking to people about Immublend. But more importantly, rather than talking about Immublend, talk about the importance of topping up your vitamin D and why Forever's product, because of the proprietary blend. Anyway, have a great day, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon. Take care, everybody, and bye for now. Bye, everybody.